I'm excited.
Why's that?
We have an apparel sponsor, Parry Athletic. Such good gear, and it's incredible. I've been enjoying it.
Bro, George came through, messaged us on the Instagram, said he's been following our program for ages. He's getting stronger and more mobile, and he's got this cool gear company called Parry, and he wants to send us some stuff.
And he told me that his mission was to create the best pair of training shorts ever.
Yeah, he wanted something that he could lift and roll in, and that could accommodate thick, muscular thighs and hips.
And that suits us.
Speaks to us.
Also, what I like is I love the colorful design. It actually looks really cool.
I am the most colorful dude on the mats these days, hands down.
Yeah, you get that kind of expression feel. A lot of other jiu-jitsu gear is kind of a bit boring.
Yeah, it's all like
comparison.
grays and blacks and shit. This stuff is the color and the vibrancy.
It makes you stand out. And I think the thing that I've loved about it is just it feels good. It feels good. It looks good. And you, ladies and gentlemen, can get a discount when you go to checkout. If you go to parryathletics.com, when you go to checkout, put in the code Bulletproof20 and you get 20% off. Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, do you take supplements to help support your BJJ? We do. And we want to talk about our favorite supplements for BJJ.
First up, I get mine from Thailand.
Do you just? In a vial or
Supplements,
tablet
right?
form?
And then there's supplements.
Yes, we're talking about the FDA approved, legal, you would pass an USADA piss test if you if you take these supplements. So
Top ones. Supplements are fucking great. I think where people get stuck is that they're not meant to be, you need to be covering all of your bases from a nutritional standpoint.
Right.
But then if you're doing that, supplements, you can lay that on top and that allows you just to really optimize
It helps.
your performance and your recovery.
Yeah, definitely.
The mistake is when you're doing all the nutritional stuff poorly and then you try to lean on supplements, that's the wrong way to go about it.
Definitely. It sounds weird. Like I eat plenty of protein bars, probably one a day, just as a snack, as stops me from eating chocolate bars. But it says should not be used as a sole source of nutrition on the pack. I'm like, why did they have to put that on there? Who's just like, yep, this has got 20 grams of protein. If I just eat like 4 or 5 of these, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like who's doing that?
I am.
Some people are doing that.
Oh, well.
Yeah, that's one way. We are going to talk
Laziness breeds efficiency.
It does. True. Hey,
Sometimes it's good, sometimes
this
it's
is bad.
Yeah.
Put that on a t-shirt. Let's talk about, I'm going to say the number one sup for me, just because I use it and I feel its effectiveness the most, is magnesium.
Wait, we're going to be universal on these. I think
You don't rank them?
No. I'm going to agree with all of yours. Just to
okay.
say, I don't need to be. Oh, I also agree with magnesium, JT.
No.
I support his supplement list. I know what it is.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, magnesium.
Yeah, magnesium. Like there was actually a time I come stay at your place. The first shoot we did, I believe I came stayed at your place on the couch. It was very comfortable. You gave me quite a hardcore. You had like this chunk of magnesium. It was like a brick. You were like, do you fuck with magnesium? I'm like, yeah, bro. And you were like,
Fuck with this.
this is pretty strong. And it was like a chunk of ice, and you kind of shaved some of it off into this cup, and you're like, yo, get this into you. And I was like,
Did you shoot yourself after?
it did cause a degree of fluidity.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
that one
strong.
goes right through you.
Talked like,
There's a guy, I'll try and keep this short. We call him the evil hippie.
okay.
His name's Pete. He used to be in Bondi, had multiple locations. This guy is dedicated to clean food and eating sort of ancestral.
Yes.
So kind of like primal, right?
Yep.
Meats, leafy greens, fermented shit, no grains, no soy, no dairy.
Wow.
He's pretty hardcore. He makes all of these different little products, and he makes his own sprouted breads. He makes his own fucking kefirs. He makes his own magnesium supplement, and he only uses and he makes sprays and creams and for magnesium. And one of them, I think it's magnesium chloride. So it's like it's like the roughest form of it. Because it looks like some part of the cocaine production. When
It does. It looks like a brick.
Yeah, it's in like these hardcore chunks.
Bro.
Yeah, and most people that I've given it to are racing to the toilet about 10 minutes. If you supplement with mag, it's not
as severe.
Yeah.
And what I was going to say is most good magnesium will be a chelate form, like CHEL.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot easier. It's not going to hit you so hard. Now, you can use whatever brand you like, but I use Bioceuticals Night.
Yeah, I love that one.
It's so
The
good.
Ultra Mag.
Ultra Mag.
Yeah.
Great for sleep.
It's pricey, but it's worth
It's
it.
expensive, but it works. And also really good for decreasing muscle soreness.
Yeah.
like awesome.
So from what I understand, and we won't go into it now, but there's you've got like there's the different forms of like magnesium oxide, magnesium glycinate, etc. And they all carry slightly different benefits.
Values.
Some better for sleeping, some better for like neurological stress, some better for muscle relaxing.
Sure.
But the basic thing is you need magnesium. It used to be a lot more abundant in the food supply. It's now not.
Yes.
It is. It's an electrolyte.
Yes.
Right. And it's so it's an essential thing. You don't get as much of it as you need. And every expert that I've ever spoken to in strength, in nutrition, in naturopathy is like, you should supplement with magnesium.
Yeah.
And for jiu-jitsu, sweating as much as we do,
Oh, dude.
that's like...
You do lose it.
You're just burning that shit out.
Yeah. So like if we think about
Well, like it actually, like it just, you sweat it out.
yeah,
don't
you just emit it,
Yeah.
right? And so here's the thing, like, because we're going to go into this next, electrolytes, but basically sodium, potassium, magnesium, you got to have these in there somewhere, right? The reason why magnesium is so important, it actually draws calcium to the muscles. That's what it does. That's part of the reason why it helps your muscles bounce back and be strong. You need calcium in the area to make muscle contractions. So if you have a muscle cramp, this is just a side note, say you're someone who gets really bad calf cramps, you can get magnesium in a spray, and even just spraying it onto the affected area and rubbing it in.
That's apparently one of the most effective ways to use it.
Incredibly effective, but
Yeah.
that is slightly different to the supplement we're talking about.
Yep.
Next thing is electrolytes. Why electrolytes? Because we do sweat so much. I mean, I'm a sweaty guy anyway. I mean, I can't barely I sweat in anticipation of a coffee. I'll just be like, I have to always have roll-on deodorant in my bag. I'm always pumping sweat. And as a result, if I don't focus, and here's the difference. This is the thing I notice the most. When I am supplementing well with electrolytes, I'm less hungry and I'm less thirsty. I can pump water all day, but if I don't put some salt in that, if I don't put some potassium in that, if I don't put some other electrolytes in that, I don't retain it. I just pass it. And then the downside of that is I'm constantly going to the toilet, spending all this time running to the toilet and not feeling hydrated.
Yeah. So electrolytes, we're talking sodium, potassium, magnesium.
Magnesium, and there's a couple other mineral elements in there, which I can't quote off the top of my head.
And these are
but they're the major ones.
Think about, right, minerals that broken down from rocks and shit.
Yeah,
right?
basically.
And most of us aren't drinking from a natural spring anymore.
No.
Like, so, you know, in a previous times, you would have got a bunch of it if you're drinking from the local river and stuff.
And you also get it from other animals that you might eat.
Yep.
Because it's in their tissues.
Yeah, you need that shit. So all your classics, like sports drinks, Gatorade, Powerade, they're basically electrolyte drinks.
They are.
Though they don't carry dosages that are really... like we need way fucking more than those drinks.
They give enough for you to not die.
Yeah,
but
if
really,
I run out of shit, I might buy a Gatorade, but it's not the daily go-to.
No. So the ones you'll find is you'll generally find like electrolyte tablets in your grocery store, supermarket, whatever. You can get them in the health food section. Hydrolyte, but Hydrolyte's pretty weak. Yeah, I got to put 2 of those bad boys in water, and then I actually even get.
I'll do 3 up the bum.
That's the way. Absorb it. And salty rim, huh? The margarita boy. So here's the thing. Like, I will actually grind Himalayan rock salt into my drink to get more salt.
You won't fuck with it if it's not pink.
No, that's it. That's just me. I'm a Barbie boy. So for you, Joe, you've been going with Element recently.
Yeah, I've been using Element. Yeah, so in the morning, I fill up my 2-liter water bottle. I put a few pinches of salt into that, whatever salt I got lying around. But yeah, Element, LMNT, I've really enjoyed it. It's an American brand, so you can buy it in Australia through a distributor. It's not particularly cheap, but none of this shit really is. If you're in the States, it's much easier to get your hands on. But it's a fucking strong dose.
It's a good dose of salt.
Yeah, like I think it's 1,000
it's
milligrams of sodium. You're like, woof, you feel it.
Yep.
It feels great when I drink it, even though it's got like some wild flavoring, watermelon or orange, whatever. Man, when you drink something that has a lot of electrolytes, like it feels like it's just getting absorbed into your body, doesn't it? And particularly, like I like to drink it, I'll mix it up before jiu-jitsu, sip a little bit before, and then drink it during and after. I'll finish it in a full sort of protein shaker. I feel fucking great. Like it's way more effective than trying to eat fruit and drink water and, you know.
Definitely. So get the electrolytes in you. The next one, which is no surprise, is whey protein. Whey protein isolate for me specifically, because that shit mixes. Now, I'm someone who's been messing with the protein shakes since I was 12 years old. And my old man used to make a thing called Tiger's Milk.
Ah, you've spoken about this.
Yeah, where he would go powdered milk, whatever, dehydrated milk powder.
Yep.
And brewer's yeast. Yeah, into water.
Brewer's yeast, because
brewer's yeast is 50% protein.
Right.
But it tastes like sour dirt.
Yep.
And he
is it in amino form?
No, it's super high in protein.
Okay.
I don't like all protein is ultimately aminos, but yeah, it's 50% protein. Brewer's yeast. Yep. So, but it tastes horrible. Yeah. It can make anything taste like shit. Don't do it. Or is all I'm saying. I'm just saying the first protein shake I ever drank was my dad's Tiger's Milk, which is water, ice, milk powder, fucking brewer's yeast. He'd put it like a half a tablespoon of that shit in there. It's gross. And then he would get low calorie ice cream to try and balance it out. But that just made it taste weird.
Oh, it sounds fucked.
It was fucked anyway. So I was like, I don't know, 11 or 12, just like, oh, Dad, what you got going on? He's like, try this Tiger's Milk. And I was like, gag. It was terrible. But if you want something delicious, whey protein isolate can mix with water, depending on what brand you got, depending on the flavor. I just put it in milk. That's me. Yeah. If you're not tolerant to milk, you might want to get other supplements. But in terms of bioavailability and also your body's response to it, whey protein isolate is the business.
Right. Whey protein, milk, a frozen banana.
Oh, yeah.
And like a scoop of peanut butter.
Oh.
That's and a couple of cubes of ice.
Dude.
That's a smoothie for the ages.
Dude, amazing. That's classic.
Bit of cinnamon if you got that lying around.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah, shut the gates.
Dude.
Yeah, whey protein is, so there's a bunch of different protein forms. If you're a vegetarian or a vegan, there's plenty of great plant-based ones. None of them mix as well as whey. None of them taste as good as whey. That's just how it is. But, whatever. If you're doing plant-based, there's heaps of options. I can't handle like plant-based in a shaker.
No.
That shit's got to go in a blender with some other shit.
Yeah.
I also tried cricket protein for a while.
Oh, how was that?
It tasted like shit. I mean, I loved the story,
Yeah,
it's bugs are crickets are the most renewable source of animal protein on the planet.
Fried crickets are kind of like prawns.
Yeah, delicious.
Yeah. But as a shake?
Yeah, tough one,
Yeah.
Little bits of shell in there and shit. But yeah, whey protein's just been so refined. It tastes really good, and it's a fucking solid dose of protein.
Yeah. So if you're struggling, it's a very quick way to get something like quite beneficial in.
Why do we need protein, JT?
Mate, all of the reasons. Basically, the majority of your body, whatever parts of it are not, water, it's like you need it to grow your hair, your nails, your skin, your muscles. And really the hardest thing is
your connective tissue that your friend's trying to tear apart in training.
Exactly. And so here's the thing, really the most expensive thing is protein. So a lot of people try to go cheap and they go, oh, I don't want to buy steak or whatever. And so you buy something that's predominantly just carbohydrates. There's nothing wrong with carbohydrates.
I'm going to buy this family pack of thin beef sausages.
But that can be predominantly...
It's mostly sawdust.
It's bread, yeah, right?
Yeah, gluten, flour and shit.
So that's the thing. The thing is when you get a scoop of whey protein, it's majority protein and it is good for you. And it's not particularly expensive as a supplement.
Yeah.
So we're not doing this because we're trying to get you to turn into ballers and like try and ball out and join our pyramid scheme for selling supplements. That will come later.
Get in early.
WPI, it's very handy, it's very easy, and there's cheap ones and expensive ones. You can get it in anywhere.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to say creatine. Why? And I've talked about this before. Because it is simple and effective, and this is the thing which I've been surprised about recently, is the research to show it's incredibly good for your brain and nervous system. So it's not just, get jacked, get swole. It is actually good for reaction time. And it's actually good for force development, which isn't just putting chemical in the muscle.
Right, yeah.
And yeah, I'm basically at the strongest I've ever been, and that would be the only supplemental change in the last 12 months.
And so, yeah, what is it that you get from using creatine? Why do you like it so much?
Creatine, extra reps. It's like, as much as you can show up and feel good for a workout, when you're trying to get the last 2 or 3 reps, it is there. It is proven to increase your ATP stores and that is incredibly helpful. So,
which is an energy source for your muscles when you're doing low repetition.
Well,
or like
like within a
basically anything that's not requiring oxygen or
basically, it's the first source of fuel, and so just jabs.
I just used it.
Yeah,
3 times.
you did.
ATP, baby.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, let's say Joey and I were genetically the same creature, and I was taking creatine and he was not, and we had comparatively the same amount of training experience. I would be, and I said, "Hey Joe, I reckon I could do more push-ups than you." And you're like, "Fuck off, mate."
Eat a dick, cunt.
Yeah, fuck off.
Let's go.
So we do push-ups. There's every chance that I would be able to produce more push-ups than him because I just had greater stores of ATP.
Right.
And do this cumulatively, it's going to help you out. And also, being an amino, it helps you recover. It's not that, it makes your muscles really big. It's not, it's all going to instantly make you stronger, but it is going to help you show up and do the thing day in, day out. So if you're trying to roll every day and produce force, it is going to help you.
I'm a sporadic user of creatine. Got some at home. Usually when I make a smoothie, I'll chuck a scoop in.
Sure.
If I bring a protein shake to work, I'll just chuck a scoop in with that too, but I don't use it every day. But yeah, I'm all about it. It's clean. There's no real downside and it's cheap.
Yeah.
And it's extensively studied.
Yeah, get around it, definitely. And last but not least, I'm going to say this, and this is something which is just, it's not an Aussie thing, but it's worldwide, Mr. Worldwide. Vitamin D. And so why vitamin D? Vitamin D is directly correlated with strength. Those who are low in vitamin D are weaker than those who have really good high levels of vitamin D.
Right.
And now the first time I heard this was actually from Charles Poliquin, who's saying the strongest women in the world, base level, Cuba. And they test it by grip strength
we all
and
know
squat.
about those Cubans, don't we, fam?
Didn't believe that. They naturally have the highest levels of vitamin D. They're not supplementing, right? And this is Cubans in general. And the thing is, technically, it's free. If you get enough sunshine, you get the sun in your eyes, the sun on your skin, it's free. Your body will produce vitamin D.
Yeah.
But especially here in Australia, we are scared of the sun because we have some of the highest rates of skin cancer in the world.
Yeah.
And because, government...
I believe on the whole, we are vitamin D deficient,
we
aren't we?
are. We
Which
actually...
is a cruel fucking paradox.
Irony. We've got all this sun, all this beach, and then...
All this skin cancer.
Yeah, but...
And then all this
low vitamin D.
Yeah.
Weak. So the other thing which is really good about vitamin D, it gives you a sense of well-being. So people who are suffering depression, they got them to do super high dose vitamin D and they just felt better. They had a greater sense of well-being. So if you can look at that and you're like, wow, it makes me stronger and also I'll feel better. It's cheap as hell, man. Vitamin D is one of the cheapest supplements. $10 and that'll get you more than a month's worth. It's super effective. And it's another thing that's just been studied the hell out of. So you don't have to take my word for it. But that's the thing. If you live in Northern Europe and you don't get sun all the time, or maybe you've just got an office job and you just go to the office when it's dark and you go home when it's dark, you never get that sunshine, supplementing is good. But then also, we're not trying to sign you up for a whole bunch of money. If you can just take some time, 15 minutes, that's all it takes, and expose yourself to bright light, your body will actually produce
bright, like sunlight.
Natural.
Yeah. Standing under the fluoros in your office won't quite cut it.
No. Just glaring. What are you doing, Ron? Trying to get stronger. Staring into the light.
Curing my depression.
Well, I mean, they got sad lamps in Sweden, right? Because you can actually, it can improve your vitamin D levels looking into an artificial version of it. It just depends on the type of light.
You have to fucking go to Andrew Huberman for clarification on that shit.
No, but they do.
He's done a lot on light exposure, hasn't
They
he?
do have sad lamps in Sweden.
Sad lamps.
It's called a sad lamp. Yeah, because you go and sit and you absorb the bright light to try and get your body to create vitamin D.
Because they got fucking a portion of the year where it's just dark all the time.
Yeah, you're getting like 23 hours of darkness.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
I never fucked with vitamin. I mean, maybe I have, but yeah, I never taken it as a regular thing. But I'll consider that. I'll take that knowledge on board.
Yeah, but
I did go get a skin cancer check, and the guy said, "You're probably deficient like everyone else in this country."
Right?
Fuck, it doesn't make. He's like, "Yeah, I don't know what to do."
Yeah,
I don't know what to tell you.
He's like, just get them burn off. Just get them cut off. Get enough sun. get them burn off. But I think you do get enough sun exposure, right? Like
I try to.
You always take and it's a health thing, right?
Yeah.
We know that you need to spend a bit of time in the sun to help regulate hormone levels, melatonin, all of that.
Yeah.
I see you over there.
Yeah. Try and catch a piece every day.
Yeah, and it's a good thing to do if you can. If you can't, vitamin D, very cheap, get amongst it.
We've got some questions that have come through, fam. You can send these through on our website, bulletproofforbjj.com. Go to the podcast tab, leave us a voicemail. 3 today. First one here is from Diego Briones.
Hi, guys. Have you ever witnessed a person who has done jiu-jitsu for multiple years or decades and has never suffered a major injury? And for the purpose of this conversation, I guess a major injury being like 3 to 6 months minimum off the mat. And if so, what were the fitness habits, bodily habits, rolling, training habits of this person? Any insight you can provide is appreciated. Thanks, guys.
Wow, he's asking there. Have you guys ever seen a unicorn?
No, it's just, it doesn't happen, dude.
I'm sure there's some outliers out there.
Fuck off. Bring them. It's not real. Injury is part of jiu-jitsu.
What about Marcelo?
Marcelo's been very badly injured. Actually, his worst injury was snowboarding. But he has...
That's not jiu-jitsu, JT.
No. But I remember he missed the Worlds because of he went snowboarding and he was like, dang, I'll never do anything other than jiu-jitsu again.
Well, that doesn't support our argument.
No. But what I was going to say with Marcelo is that he has admitted that
He took damage.
He took a lot of damage and he struggles to get around. You know, he had said... Because a lot of people are like, yeah, but Marcelo, he said he never did S&C. But since has said in an interview, I wish I had done some because now my body's kind of fugida, which means fucked in Portuguese. So that's the thing. We have to accept that even though it's a fun thing we do, it's a wear and tear thing. It's not netball.
Yeah,
you know?
I think I don't think those people exist. I think there are definitely people that you see that you're like, man, that person just seems like they never get busted up. But if you actually ask them, they would have had at least one experience over the years that's taken them off the mats for a good few months. No one gets out unscathed.
And I guess our guy is looking for the hope of the story of how can I do jiu-jitsu and not get injured. Man, I have known people.
I mean, you've never had a surgery, am I right?
No, I've never had
to go under the knife. That's not super uncommon, right? There's plenty of people that have avoided surgery and don't carry, you're not carrying huge amounts of day-to-day pain or like persistent injuries, right? Chronic stuff.
No, but the unfair advantage I have is I literally do more gym than I do jiu-jitsu. My best friends are physios.
So that's the fucking answer for homeboy.
Well,
it's like these are the habits.
Well, you want to be me?
Goes
All
to
right.
the gym
Yeah,
obsessively.
Bro. Yeah, sure. Okay, start gym when you're 10 years old, lift for 15 years and be a pro athlete before you start jiu-jitsu. All your friends are surgeons, physios, and myos. Take all your supplements, go to bed early, get up at 4 a.m., lift weights every single day, and then start jiu-jitsu. And keep that going. There's your answer. I'm your unicorn. I think you don't want to be me.
Jared coming in.
Hey, this is Jared in Texas, and I've got a question about takedowns. It seems like in MMA and in BJJ competitions and even in like self-defense, like knowing how to take someone down would be really important. But it seems like this is really disproportionately covered in the schools, at least here where I'm at. So kind of why is this? I've heard that maybe it's because there's not very many points awarded in the competitions, which seems kind of like a silly reason. Maybe it's because there's like more injuries that happen, which, again, it seems like, we should work on making it safer. So, what am I missing here? What's going on here? P.S. I really love the app. Really enjoying the mobility routine. Thanks, guys.
Jared, you legend, coming in from the land of the free.
Yeah, Freedom, Texas, shout out.
From my understanding, I totally agree with you, Jared. It's kind of a bit silly that that takedowns aren't a bigger part of jiu-jitsu. It's all because of the point system, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, and look, it's easier to pull guard. Like, if it's not penalized, it has been shown.
Pull guard, start fucking playing your guard shit and fuck them up, sweep and come on top or submit.
Birimbolo, whatever it is, the game has evolved to a point where you don't have to have this paradigm of we're fighting each other. I have to be in an advantageous position to kill you.
Or a dominant position,
Yeah, what's considered dominant, because like you can see that, whether it's the Meow brothers, Keenan, even strategy, you could see someone like Leandro, who is a great passer and could take people down. He would pull guard just so he could get first points. Like if he thought it was just going to be too energetic to wrestle and fight, he would do that. So I think it's one of those things that ultimately people can get away with not learning to wrestle or do stand up, and so they don't. Like it's one of those things.
Yeah, and I can say this from personal experience. You look at wrestling techniques, like you look at a double leg, or you look at judo throws, most judo throws, not all.
Yep.
They take thousands and thousands of repetitions to become proficient at.
Yes.
Like I simply just cannot shoot a double, right? Unless someone asks me, and I'm like, I never shoot doubles, bro. I'm like,
I'm pretty
maybe-
sure you could. You just
I mean, I could if I worked on it and
Sure.
got my entries and my timing and all that. I got the capacity for it.
Sure.
But I'm like, I don't care to invest the time
Sure.
to build that. I'm just gonna like, whatever, do a single or maybe like snap down front headlock, like do some more basics, some of
Sure.
that shit that doesn't require me learning like a takedown. So my point is, well, so they're all takedowns, but my point is that like some of those techniques, and especially if you're coming from a wrestling background,
Yeah.
you're like, why aren't people doing more of this? There's a huge time investment to get good at it. Plus, the points don't really support it.
Yep.
So it's like, well, it doesn't make sense to divert the class away from learning more tricks in the guard or whatever, does it?
Sure.
To be able to work on something like that that's not going to be as effective for them in the short term anyway.
Well,
I mean, I know that's a short term view.
Potentially. I think it does require less athleticism, right? Even though there's it requires less athleticism to be a guard player than it does to be some kind of wrestling beast.
Yeah.
So if we think about the majority of a class, people coming in are not necessarily that conditioned. There is a process of conditioning people. Is it an advantage to be more athletic? Yes. But if you're an instructor and you're running a class, you're just trying to expose people to what is the value of this thing. Now, the thing that I had learnt over time is like the Gracie model of jiu-jitsu is the guard. Like the guard is everything. The guard is self-defense. The guard is submission. Like it's fighting off your back.
And it's the point of difference, isn't
Yes.
it, for jiu-jitsu? Like if you go to jiu-jitsu school, you're like, well, this is the unique thing we do that you don't see you don't see this in a wrestling class.
But I guess the great thing about jiu-jitsu is universal. It covers all the things. Look, ultimately, I believe that the current move towards submission grappling, submission wrestling just means there is going to be way more wrestling.
It's bringing it. I mean, you look at ADCC, wrestling is a huge part of it.
It's what it is. It rewards that and it penalizes guard pulling.
Yeah.
So I think it will balance out over time, but also know that wrestling causes more injuries than fucking anything else. And it's not the takedown-er, it's the takedown-e who gets injured, yeah. So you don't want to be on the wrong side of that stick.
Thanks for the question, Jared. Last one here from John. Where's John from?
How are you, lads? With the podcast. I'm training BJJ about 8 months now in Lucas Lepre HQ in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Respect.
I'm 36 and I've resigned myself to the fact that I don't like eating leafy greens and I don't like lifting weights. But I am very, not concerned, but very like proactive about staying injury free. So I do a lot of mobility stuff. I do a lot of locomotion, bodyweight exercises, push-ups, pull-ups, and I do a lot of rock climbing. And I'm very comfortable, like I'm pain free so far, but early days of course. But I'm just trying to, I haven't been able to get like a proper answer of like, is there anything special about an external weight, or should I be doing like some minimum kettlebells, or can you do the same with bodyweight exercises and then a lot of rock climbing, say?
Good question from John there.
Yeah. Well, look, I think it's the way you're looking at it, to be honest. It sounds like you're doing resistance training. Rock climbing is incredibly hard, right? In terms of like upper body pulling. You're saying that you like doing body weight exercises. That's cool. I guess my question is, what is it about weightlifting you don't like? Or what is it about leafy greens you don't like? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not someone who likes a salad. I will only eat it if it's made for me and it's put in front of me, right? That doesn't mean I don't like vegetables. It's just how you prepare it. And I think this could be like an analogy for how you're doing your weight training. Oh, yeah, it sounds like you might be open to doing some kettlebells. Sure, that's great. That's weightlifting, right? So maybe it's just that you don't like, it's your perception of it. How would you look at that, Joe?
Yeah, so yeah, if you boil it down, you are doing resistance training. That's great. Yes, I believe there is absolutely a distinct benefit to lifting an external load versus just your own body weight. And the reason is external loads like kettlebells, like barbells, like dumbbells allow you to add weight to your body in a way that you just cannot replicate with body weight strength training. A great quote from Ido Portal that I've always sort of stood by is, the hips crave intensity, the shoulders crave complexity.
Right.
So body weight strength training is great for complexity. Rings, handstands, levers, all this crazy angular shit. Whereas for the hips are a more simple joint. You got big fucking glutes, big hamstrings, big quads.
You should.
They like intensity.
Yeah.
Intensity is load. So you can use pistol squats and split squats and stuff and shrimp squats as a way to build intensity. But like, it's hard to go past heavy deadlifts, whatever variation you like, heavy squats.
Yeah.
There is something about that just carries over to you being able to pick someone up. Oh yeah, we're good. There's something about that just enables you to pick someone up and handle someone jumping guard on you that I don't think you can get from calisthenics.
True, I agree. And, I didn't want to be the one to say it because obviously I've got someone across from me who's from the realm of movement.
Right.
But no, because overload. If you do not overload the movement, like progressively overload it, you will not improve it. Like just doing the same movement at the same resistance, you just plateau. And if anything, over time, go backwards, even though you have efficiency at the movement. You're trying to do something which requires you to engage with a dynamic load of approximately your body weight or greater. If you do not properly prepare your body for that stress, you will break. So you're good. You are early in the journey, 8 months. You have some good habits, but you need to be prepared. And look, we can revisit this conversation when you leave us a voicemail in another 4 months and you've busted your knee, and then they say, you know what, you got to do some leg extensions and you got to do some squats and you got to do some resistance training to fix your shit. So that's the thing. We don't want you to have to take that journey to injury. Just be better prepared now. Get some kettlebells, ramp it up. It sounds like you're already on the path, brother.
And that voicemail in 4 months' time could be, guys, I've blown through every single pair of jeans I have. My shorts don't fit me anymore. My girlfriend doesn't recognize me.
I'm an Instagram model.
That's the voicemail that I want to receive. Thanks,
My
fam.
guy.
See you.